But there's people that do not want the problem solved. It's job security. Yes, it's that sick. It's that twisted. Please, my friends, I mean, I got no ulterior motive. I just want God's will to be established. I want to be everybody's friend. I want to be a good brother. I want to be God's friend. I mean, so I got to be a friend to humanity, and I got to love my enemy as best I can, and try to keep my heart, do fresh and bitter water come from the same stream. I got to watch myself because I fail. I'm weak and I fall. But then I say, God, please, bring them to their faces. It just cause them to repent. That's all I want. I don't want lightning to strike them. Please, God. I don't want to make, childish, critical remarks and use pejorative terms on them. In my heart and mind, and sometimes it comes out my mouth, I want to be consistent. I want to do what you said, love my enemy. This is what they hate. They hate being loved. King Solomon talked about this. They don't want love, and we feel that. So automatically they project that you're a phony. So it's the dynamics are incredible. The only way you can sort all this crap out is turning to God in prayer, having an intimate, personal relationship. Like Jesus said, in your closet, it's very personal. But you can do it anytime, whatever you're doing, at the office, in your car, at the grocery store, at home. It doesn't matter where you are, the Spirit of truth is there with you, loving you. We're all equally beloved children of God. We've got to let each other know that. We're all of equal value and worth. We're precious treasures to God. And He loves us very much. Do you understand? And we got to let each other know that, because this world has not given us that signal. Okay, they say they care about our health and welfare so much. I hear all this crap. They just care. That's why it's draconian, and they're shutting down these businesses and all that and causing all this economic havoc. People's lives are being just financially destroyed. But there's a justification here, and yet we're going to ignore the homeless situation that keeps getting worse. You think I'm a sycophant for Trump? The only reason I voted for Trump was because he said he was ashamed of homelessness in America. I don't know if there's people that make sure he jumps to get to the bottom of this, but he's got Ben Carson running HUD, the housing authority. The $50 billion a year goes into this program, this Section 8. And the problem's getting worse. I mean, for God's sake, I could teach a little kid in 2 minutes that it's cheaper in the long run to purchase something than to rent it. But they're not giving we the people the choice to just buy people houses. They're poor. Say, look, I just want to be done with this. Like ripping a band. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's build housing sufficient for all the poor people that can't afford their own housing, because the minimum wage is falling way below, reality of what it should be. And it's a two-way street. So I'm not just saying the answer is raising wages. No. It does cause inflation. Everything that you raise, you debase my money. That's how you're debasing it. You raise the cost of living, and all we have to do is pick on one area of our lives we can't get away from. And in this case, it was housing. It's an essential human need. So inevitably, it's going to cause this chain reaction. It's just simple cause and effect. It's scientific principles I'm talking about here. Of course, people, if you were barely making it before, cracking a nut, paying your mortgage or your rent and your bills, all the other sundry bills you have to pay before, and then your something goes up in cost that you can't get away from. You can't. It's not like a luxury item that you can say, well, no, I just forsake it. I'm not buying a new Corvette. I'm not buying a jet boat. I'm not buying a Rolex. No way, not anymore. I got to tighten my belt, And so then you're okay. You can handle it and pay that extra money, okay? No, you can't get away from it. This is an essential human need. That's why it's so outlandish, outrageous. So it causes a chain reaction. Everybody's scrambling. See, the vice is being tightened on everybody simultaneously, right? So we've all got to figure out ways to scramble and, get creative and think outside the box. It's getting competitive, but that's capitalism. And I got to deal with capitalism because it's as American as apple pie. But in reality, if you learn about capitalism, it involves supply and demand, okay? And to show where it worked in this before is with the VCR. When in the early 80s, nobody could afford them. They were $1,000. We had to rent them. Only the rich could afford them. But by the mid 90s, because of supply and demand principles in action, true capitalism, they were $50 on sale. You understand? Wages could be 10 cents an hour today, and that 10 cents could buy you more than that dollar an hour in the early 60s. You understand? It's a two-way street here. So I want everybody to be very clear on what I'm trying to convey to them. Okay, I want you to understand basic, rudimentary, fundamental economic principles so you can decipher for yourself what is and what is not true capitalism. Because it's pseudo-capitalism is what they've shoved down our throats. It's rigged capitalism, what they've shoved down our throats. It's anti-capitalism, what they've shoved down our throats, and peddled it off under the guise of capitalism. And it's just not true. It's just not true. It's just simple as a rigged game. It's a game that involves this money, like Monopoly, and it's rigged. They got the inside. Could you imagine if you could just take as much money from the bank in Monopoly and you were the first one to just go buy it all up now, just get greedy, and who cares? You're snot-nosed, spoiled brat kids in the candy store. Yeah, you wrecked it up, and the parents keep filling it back up. Oh well, they're just snot-nosed kids. They'll grow up and mature someday. You keep filling up, and you try to be nice and loving, and they say, you know what? I see the writing on the wall. I'm not joining your side. No way. I've got all the candy. I'm taking it all, and that's what they've done. They just, it's all bets are off. It's just balls out, man. No holds barred, and we're just going for broke. Okay, because we know the people are figuring it out. The people are becoming empowered with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about these basic economic principles. And I want that to be you, and I want you to share it with other people. Just be logical. Say, let's do the math. Let's see if the guy's crazy or if he's right. Let's just figure this out here. Is there solutions or not? And if so, why can't we have them? Who's the stumbling block? Where's the obstacle here? Who's keeping us from fixing our problems? You see, the only time your cost of living is supposed to go up is when there's a disruption in the supply chain. A genuine disruption, not one that's manipulated, made up. Oh, let's blow up the oil refinery. We want higher gas prices. That would work. That's a form of market manipulation on the oil prices, gasoline prices, right? We would all agree. Well, that's the kind of stuff they'll do to get their way. They love their lives in this world. They love money, and they'll do anything to maintain power. They're power-drunken freaks, and they're bloodthirsty at this point. If you look at the Georgia Guidestones, I mean, you think they care about you? You really do? Who are you that they care about you? Huh? What, because you're another vote for them, or what? We talk Democrat, Republican. These people are all in cahoots. The majority, I mean, there's exceptions. It's a generalization. But for the most part, yeah, they are. They collude together over those important issues like the bailout of '08. Debasing our money, telling it it's good, but they won't try that with the grocery store. When the prices are going up they won't sell it like it's a good thing. Well, the value went up. Don't stop this cost, price, burden. No. Value, we call it. Could you imagine that? See, that would educate the people too quickly. We're on to you. We saw that propaganda. We saw who are you working for? What's your salary? Can you afford to be a homeowner? You spewing out the mainstream media news? Are you one of the minority that can afford to be a homeowner in California? Let's investigate here. Who are you working for? Are you really a journalist after the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Or are you just a yes man, just giving your pitch because you got a good salary, you got a good job? Let's get to the bottom. Let's figure this out. Let's get smart. Let's just be logical, reasonable. Come, like Scripture says, let us reason together. People don't want to. It's like pouring holy water, and they don't want to have that conversation about the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. No, they want to prescribe to an ignorance is bliss philosophy. Go with the flow, the path of least resistance. You see, now they're lulled to sleep. They're like the cooked frog just sitting there waiting to be eaten. Okay, you can't be a coward. Okay, you don't want to offend anybody. You want to be polite, respectful. If you like that, the golden rule applies to your enemy and everybody else in between. But we've got to confront it, or else it's not going to fix itself. We've got to confront it. We've got to unite. Understand they want us divided. They want us to believe it's about Democrats and Republicans, or liberals and conservatives, or socialists and capitalists. But they're all colluded. You understand? A tiny gaggle of monsters, basically, freaks, money-loving freaks. that are out of their minds. They're deluded. They're of their own free will and accord. That's, we can't answer for them. You can't really understand the mind of a madman unless you're one. Can you really imagine selling your soul, your conscience, your integrity, your honor, your reputation to have a position in place in this world temporarily? Anybody